Hello everyone, so come to Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development for today's editing purposes only. The investment I'm going to talk today will be Ethereum TKTH. First, I want to say happy Tuesday, everybody. Have a great week so far. Respect to recording time of 7:44 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum currently traded $3,830, up about 1.25% so far. On the overall crypto market, it's kind of a mixed bag today, right? With the key coins over leading up close to about 1.5% so far. While at the same time, there are some key specific altcoins that are, leaning more toward a bearish pressure. Seems like the key coins are doing its own thing, while some of the altcoins are trading in a different momentum, all driven microly by its own specific affectation. And you could see that even more prominently on Dogecoin, currently up about 28.37% at the 20-cent level at the moment, while Shiba Inu is also having that dog effect, I guess, dragging up to close to be about 5% so far, while altcoin on the other side of the spectrum, like MacTech and AVAX, which are the newly introductions in my portfolio, in my channel as well, are both leading close to about 2 to 3% respectively as well. And on the overall equity market, I would say it's kind of a mixed bag a little bit more. Dow Jones are up about 0.03% right now on a pre-market perspective. NASDAQ is still down about 1.4%. Seems like it's still pending on the Fed signal from the FOMC meeting that we'll be hearing later today, while SPY is just kind of flat at the moment. And as I was skimming through the news front, I woke up relatively earlier today. Seems like on the stocks futures perspective, various different stocks are slipping lower ahead of the key inflationary data. And I was looking into some of the speculative type of news. Seems like, collectively, many analysts and economists are predicting that the Fed, or Jerome obviously, that he will halt asset purchasing, which is aka the quantitative tapering, by sometimes in March next year, right? And then the interest rate will subsequently hike in June, right? So it seems like there's some definitive timeline that people are expecting. So that's basically the Wall Street expectation. So we see how we triangulate as we hear further from the actual meeting today. So we hope, based on, historical experience, Jerome has always been a relatively diplomatic person. He doesn't really give any confirmatory signal in comparisons to his last really concrete confirmatory signals is with respect to he has no intentions of banning crypto. So that's something we have full confidence of, because he's said that publicly, and he also actually had a press release on that specific point as well. So, but with respect to the overall market, on the equity market and the future outlook of the U.S. economy, the asset purchasing is gonna trigger the bond yields, which will subsequently trigger the US dollar's appreciation depreciation, which will subsequently trigger the corporate expenditure, in the interest payments perspective, that will subsequently cut into that margin, and that could subsequently correlate into a potential surge or sell-off with respect to equity, and then that will subsequently have an anti-correlation or some hindrance onto the crypto market, right? So if today we hear something along the line that the inflation is getting worse, right? Let's just put it that way, and he sees that with respect to Omicron is getting worse as well, it will further hinder, basically push back the tapering timeline as well. It can be a good day for the crypto side of the spectrum, but it could be a negative day for the equity side of the spectrum. So we'll see how that goes. And look at the news front. Not really a lot of news that really worth mentioning. Besides some of the analyst news talk about that Ethereum is still very bullish, despite the sell-off that we've seen yesterday, and just a lot of juxtaposition news comparing Bitcoin with Ethereum. And also talks about one news on Bazinga about 16 hours ago, which is stale by now, with respect to Dogecoin playing dead, question mark. That, if you believe in Dogecoin on this value proposition, being supported by Elon Musk, recent post on his perspective, that it might be a better utilization to to use Dogecoin in comparisons to Bitcoin. And I guess that's one of the reasons of on driving the surge that we're seeing right now. So that's pretty much on the news front. Let's just dive straight into the technicals. Right now it's at the 7:49 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum trading $3,832, up about 1.3% so far. At the moment right now, we are basically hovering around, like, again, right, 3,850, which is something that we've talked about. We're basically like $10 away, so I'll give that benefit of doubts that that's the reason why we're hovering around this level, because we don't know any confirmatory signals on what's going to happen today. So right now, it's just sitting flat in water until the meetings start to percolate, right? And then with respect to Bitcoin right now, is up about 2% so far, hovering around the level that of basically, again, right, the consolidation level that we've talked about. We're basically $200 away. So as a benefit of the doubt, I give that we are consolidating at the resistance level that we are at now, despite we're a little bit lower, right? So right now, this is a good buying opportunity. I would say still, yeah, because like with the 36 out of 70, so anywhere from current level to 44,000 is still a good level. So now talk about Dogecoin. I miss my dog Finn. I haven't seen him in a while. I feel like it's been almost a week now. Hope he's doing well. You could see that we are completely reversing up right now. Obviously, mainly driven by retail investors, public investors, because of the recent positive news. We are forming a golden cross, and at the same time, we surge up completely. So again, right, Dogecoin was a great buy, right? As I kept saying, right, anywhere from the 15 to 1302, right? So hopefully some of you guys believe strongly in the value proposition of Dogecoin. Actually popped the dip recently, and you guys are rewarded royally at the moment, up about close to 30% so far, right? And the next level technically will go up to, would be, it already happened at the 22, which is where we see that right here. But if we actually even have more of a higher pressure, we'll go up to 23. Higher pressure will go up to 27.35. But we are at the 51 right now. Would it make sense to chase right now? Absolutely not. I would absolutely not do so, because the risk is exponentially higher now because of this reversal. Despite forming the golden cross, but we're still like leaning towards upper echelons of the neutral zone. So we are gonna be heading towards the overbought, and that's the reason why we deplete back down. So that's the reason for this mini green candle instead of like a large one, right? So risk is high. I would probably stay away. The better opportunity was wait for when everybody was panicking. Obviously, that's the logic that you should always apply. Cardano is up about close to 3% right now, bouncing off the wall, and I think this could be comparable to how Dogecoin will play out. Obviously, they're different animals, different assets completely, but the trend is relatively comparable, right? And at the 35 out of 70 right now, so risk versus reward ratio is good, 134 over compared to 120. So right now is a good buy, if you believe in long term for Cardano. So don't sweat it if you think like, oh god, I bought at like all-time high, now I'm down so much. Just like if you have some cash on the side, just like buy a little bit more, or just hold for a long term. Solana is yeah, technical is coming true. We sold down all the way to 155 again, right? That was the level that we talked about for a month and a half now. 155, 133, 113 is still a good level to dollar cost average at. XRP down about 2.25% right now. At the moment, anywhere from 88 to 78 is good level to buy. If we break 78, we're gonna go to 69, but I think that's a stretch because we're oversold right now. So at the level right now, down about 2.21%. It's not terrible. It's comparable to like a possibility that it will surge, comparable to like how Dogecoin is displaying at the moment. So ultimately, it's still a good risk profile for you to incur risk. And ultimately, you just have to believe in this assets long term, right? Polkadot's down about 6% right now, closely. Anywhere from current level to 25 is still the dip for us. ALGORAND's at 136, right? Anywhere from this current level to basically rock bottom at the 130 is still a logical level, but it seems like people are just giving up on these assets in general, which is not good because of just a lack of sustainable buying pressure just based on the psychology of this chart. It doesn't look good to me. It doesn't look like a healthy asset that is going anywhere. So probably Algorand, I'll just stay away from it, to be honest with you. Shiba Inu is up about 4.4% because of the Dogecoin effect. At the moment right now, I'll probably wait until 2900 again, and then the 900. I know we got there like recently, but right now, if you want to incur risk, it's up to you, right? We're not that far off. So just feel free to take a leap of faith if you believe in this asset, long-term wise, right? Probably gone up about 2%. Anywhere from the 175 to 143 is still a good level. And would I be buying now? I mean, maybe a little bit, but not a lot, right? Because of the fact that we do have this head and shoulder pattern. So that means we got to be in for a sell-off, and we're still within a bearish pattern. No signs of reversal yet. It's going to take some G-force for us to reverse the plane back up, right? So I think the pilots try to pull up right now. So we'll see how that goes. But it's a relatively, pretty much like a straight up free fall in the previous days, right? So it's going to take some time to replenish that momentum when there are other coins that are also equally or even more bullish. AVAX up about 3.32%, anywhere from the current level to the 60 is still a good level. With respect to risk management level, these are the levels to dollar cost average at, and I believe we are within a lot of the levels that we identified so far here. So feel free to take a scheme. I have made some revisions here and there. Obviously, it's important that we are always as precise as possible in the technical fronts. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if you have any specific questions. I'm going to be at home the whole day, so I'll be responding to messages and working just at home in general. Let me know, and take care. Bye.